Welcome to the Wildcast podcast, coming to you from Wildcast Studios with your hosts Adam Lund and Jeremy Boucher.
Welcome to the Wildcast Studios on Rogers TV for another episode of the Wildcast podcast. Semi-finals edition. Your unofficial voice of all things Monkey Wildcats, presented by Alpha Appliance Solution, the premier destination for KitchenAid, Whirlpool, and Maytag appliances in Moncton. Right now, the Gen Air Luxury Redefined event. Save 15% when you purchase any 2 or 3. Save 20% when you purchase 4 or more qualifying Gen Air products. Qualifying purchases may be made till April 30th. For those and other deals, go to appliancesolutions.ca. As always, fans, and I am your host, Adam Lund. I'm joined by your favorite co-hoster, Mr. YQM, Mr. Starbucks, Mr. Stanley Cup, Mr. Jeremy Boucher. How's your week been?
You know what? It's been okay. There was a few hiccups when it comes to work, but other than that, WrestleMania was good.
WrestleMania was
for the Friday
night one was good. Night two.
You like night two? Night one better than night two?
I like the main event of night one better than night two.
Oh yeah.
The
The card on night two was better. Main event night one was better.
I was a little annoyed they were at different times. Like it was 9 o'clock on Saturday. I thought it'd be 9 o'clock on Sunday, and you're telling me that Io Sky and Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. I'm like,
It was 8 o'clock on Saturday too.
That was 9.
Saturday 8 for me.
All right, I thought it was 9.
No, it's but that weekend's come and gone. Like the Quebec series didn't have to worry about playing hockey on the weekend, which was nice.
Yeah.
I think the Monday, the Raw after WrestleMania was, I think, even better than WrestleMania in full. It was jam packed, lots of new storylines and title changes. So
yeah,
it was actually a pretty eventful weekend that started on Friday night for us.
yeah. The last 20 minutes of the hockey game made it much more eventful. Yeah, I mean, night one was kind of boring. The main event, triple threat, saved it. I think that should have been like Sunday's main event. Io Sky, Bianca Belair was fantastic. Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
I didn't think Dominic was going to win. I didn't. Spoiler alert if you haven't gotten this far. Yeah, I didn't think that Dominic was going to pull it off and get the pop that he got for pulling it off.
Mm-hmm. No, I think he's kind of like the breakout star.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get a huge push here in the next few months. Get him to where he needs to be. Like I think he's going to be kind of almost an unstoppable athlete for until at least almost a year.
Yeah.
He's on the rise. Same thing with Braun Breaker.
Spoiler alert.
Again at the end of Raw. Joined Seth Rollins with Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
And which it's kind of turning. It's almost as if they're doing like an evolution 2.0.
Yeah.
Whereas Seth is Triple H, Braun Breaker's Batista. Who's going to be your Randy Orton?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Austin Theory. Eventually, I think he's going to get the push. I wouldn't mind seeing Finn Balor get that Randy Orton push, like get him away from the Judgment Day, but then he'd be heel and then heel group again. So I'd like to see Finn Balor become a baby face. But I will give a shout out to Briar because he correctly predicted. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Which is I popped for that on the couch. Like I thought it was going to be Rusev who showed up Monday night.
Yeah,
but I thought it was going to be Rusev. You thought it was going to be Nia Jax.
Nia Jax. That
would have been awesome.
Nothing against that. I mean, they've got a history or RK Order before.
Yeah.
So I was kind of cheering for Nia Jax, but no, Joe Hendry was awesome. Good night if you were a Scottish wrestler.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And the John Cena Cody Rhodes, I think that was a massive fail.
Terrible.
I think if you,
I mean, I get it, He's breaking Ric Flair's record, and Ric Flair is the dirtiest player in the game.
Yeah.
So why would they have John Cena win clean?
I get that. But why make Cody seem invincible to give him the stupidest babyface move of all time and a shot to the nuts wins a title?
Yeah.
After Travis Scott shows up, what are we doing? What is that? Like, at least have Kendrick Lamar show up. I don't know, but like this whole Travis Scott with a hardcore title and like a 90-pound dude soaking wet affects the main event on a Sunday WrestleMania. Like, and no Rock. No, like, what was the point of the storyline of selling your soul if none of that is there? Like, selling his soul should have been. I saw this on Twitter and I can't remember who it was from, but they said Elimination Chamber. The Rock should have come out, asked for Cody's soul. Cody went, "Nope, I don't want to," and went to shake John Cena's hand. John Cena said, "I'll see you at WrestleMania," and left. And then last night should have been the heel turn at WrestleMania, winning his 17th because So again, you're gonna get John Cena, you're gonna get Randy Orton storyline now going into Bad Blood into St. Louis. But
when I seen Travis Scott come up with the hardcore title, I was hoping R-Truth's music would hit, and R-Truth thought the title was the 24/7 title.
That would have been actually pretty good.
Just to give it, because I think R-Truth, just a random appearance in the main event of WrestleMania would have been absolutely hysterical. But I
think Stone Cold was drunk. Did you see him?
He missed the ramp.
He missed the ramp, and then he hit the barricade and just it was. And then someone's like, "It's the same venue, the same setup, and it's 61,000 one night and 63,000 the other night. Like, how is it not sold out double the nights?" But yeah, when Travis Scott's music hit, first of all, I'm like, I don't know who this is. Like, everybody kind of popped. I don't know who this is. And then he showed up, and I'm like, okay. And I'm just like waiting for the Rock's music. That's what I was waiting for, and just disappointed. Just flat out disappointed. Oh well, that's life. We move on.
We're not a wrestling.
It's still real. It's still real to me. Damn it. Which when I was watching Sunday, my mom was like, "Oh, is he hurt? Oh, is that hurt? Oh no. Oh, he can't get up. Oh, look at him, just lay there." I'm like, "Go to bed, mother." And then watching it Sunday, my family was like, "You still watch wrestling? What are you, like 9?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's still real to me, Dad."
Yeah, I am.
And I enjoy it. I could be doing math, but I'm not. And then what happens? We get to I fast forward. I went back to watch the Triple Threat. Fast forwarded to get to the Fatal 4-Way, and we watched it all the way. My family sat and watched it with me all the way. So hooked them.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, speaking of my family, they were here. I've got to play tourist for the week. It's been tourist life. We went to PEI, took my dad across the bridge again. That didn't really go so well. My brother, my brother-in-law who's afraid of heights, got to the bridge and he's like, "Oh, okay, that's longer and higher than I thought it was going to be. Okay. Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool." And so he's not afraid of that. Went to Peggy's Cove, into Halifax. So Kiva's had absolutely no routine and structure.
Love it. She
slept through the whole night on Monday night for us. So she's getting used to her car seat, getting used to it. And I love having people visit, but now that my sister's been here, I am done with tourist life. Next time you come out, you're going by yourself. But yeah, how's Megan?
Good.
Everything's good?
Everything's good. Went for a little appointment today, and the baby's now head down.
That's exciting.
So that I think happened on Sunday because there was some crazy movements going on Sunday. A little concerned because how excessive they were, but we think it was just the baby doing a flip. And other than that, everything.
Did she get remonitored? They send her up for the monitoring?
No. We didn't go to the hospital. She just had an appointment on.
Oh, I thought it was like a Dr. Hawkins appointment.
Yeah, it was today, but they didn't do any
nice
visits to labor and delivery. Just made sure it was. They kind of did an ultrasound, but yeah, baby's head down, so it's more or less time to head out.
I was gonna say head down, ready to head out. Eh? Don't forget, as always, you can follow us on social media: Twitter, Wildcast, Instagram, Wildcast Podcast, TikTok, Wildcast Podcast, and as well here on the YouTube. Don't forget to like and smash that subscribe button. lets us know you like what we're doing, and click that bell so you don't miss any of our post games in the playoffs and any of the live episodes we may drop, depending on how the rest of the series goes. It's quick question time, sir.
Yeah, we've been kind of doing this for the past couple of weeks. We're going to do some blind rankings. They seem to be trending on TikTok and all these other apps, whatever they are these days. I think we joked last week about maybe doing some blind rankings, some Nickelback songs.
Yeah.
But I'm going to throw you a curveball.
Okay.
And I'm confident you can hit this, unlike the Blue Jays, who can barely hit a beach ball.
Oh, that's not going well? They're not in first place anymore?
Well, so in honor of her show at the Avenir Center next month, you are going to blind rank Avril Lavigne songs.
Oh, boy. All right. This is the curveball because I don't mind Avril Lavigne, but I don't know if I'm a massive fan. But, hey, I like doing blind rankings, and let's go.
Starting with My Happy Ending.
So
much fun.
Now I'm gonna have these earworms in my head for the next week. I'm gonna go 4. So, okay.
Next up, What the Hell?
Oh my God! What the hell? It's catchy. I'll go 6.
Okay. Hey, you,
Boyfriend.
girlfriend.
Oh, girlfriend. God, she's got some catchy tunes.
Yep.
I'm gonna put girlfriend 3. I know what my number 1 is if it's on your list there.
My number one Avril Lavigne song is the last song.
Okay.
We probably don't have the
Same one. Okay.
Unless we're like literally separated at birth.
Yeah. And again, I have no idea what's coming. I would prepare myself for Nickelback or the Backstreet Boys, to be honest with you.
Complicated.
7.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't think that would be you. I thought it would be you. I thought you might go higher up than that.
Okay.
You with that?
Yep.
When You're Gone. When you're gone, the pieces of my heart are missing you. When you're gone.
I'm gonna put that right in the middle.
Yeah. If you don't know the songs, you just let me know and I'll say.
Yeah. I noticed.
Skater Boy.
1.
Ooh, see, we're not alike.
That is my tune.
Yeah, that's an absolute classic.
Yeah.
It's that'd probably be my number 2.
Yeah.
I'm With You.
Oh, I'm with you. Oh, okay. Oh, and now I've got either 2 or I gotta put your next 3 at 8, 9, 10. Hate this list already. I think where I went wrong was girlfriend, so I'm gonna put that With You at 8.
Good. Where we at? Nobody's Home. You ever heard that one?
I don't know that one, so hold on.
Okay. Keep Holding On.
I'm trying to figure out what your number 1 is to put in slot 2. I'm gonna put that in 10.
Okay, that's a good choice.
What was it again?
Keep Holding On. Because I think
So my number 2 is
this last song, when I was younger, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I thought she wrote this song about me. I want to lock you up in my closet when no one's around. I want to put your hand in my pocket because you're allowed. Hot.
that song.
Yeah. That is my all-time favorite Avril Lavigne song. I thought she
I'm gonna have to listen to that because I don't know that one.
Really?
So the fact that
actually,
it's 2
okay,
guys,
I know we can't put music on the show,
Yeah.
but we're gonna do a mulligan here, and we're gonna put music on the show because it is by far.
Pause it because Rogers, we really can't have music. Oh, I'm playing right there. All right. Yeah, now that you played that, which, sorry, everyone, we can't play that being on Rogers TV.
It'll be a blooper.
It'll be a blooper, yeah. Now that I know that song, I don't hate my list as much because I didn't. You didn't have Never Growing. Here's Never Growing Up on there. I was going through the hour.
It was on there. It was on there, and I had to make a subtraction. I had to remove it.
Yeah.
Just because I was kind of going with the 2000s to 2010s.
Yeah.
But no, it's another good one on there. Do you remember Smile?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one too. That was almost on my list as well.
Skater boy, hot girlfriend, happy ending when you're home or when you're gone.
When you're gone, yeah.
What the hell? Complicated with you. Nobody home. Keep holding on.
There we go.
It's not a bad list.
Not bad.
You know what we should do next week? Is we should redraft the 2021 QMJHL.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. I think next week, instead of a quick question, we should redraft the 2020.
Yeah.
2021, right?
It was the COVID draft, so 2021.
Yeah.
Where these guys never hardly played hockey.
Yeah.
So this was the Matthew Cataford,
Vincent
Moran, Vince Collard, Cam Squires draft, Luke Coughlin, Dylan McKinnon, that draft.
We gave everything to Halifax draft, so they had our top 5 picks.
Yeah. So it would be interesting because there's definitely some players that were picked in the later rounds that should have gone in the first.
Yeah.
And some players that shouldn't have been in the first at all.
Yeah.
So that's
some players that Moncton's very lucky there was no hockey to fall to us in the second round.
Yes, 100%. So let's do that. That'll be our not necessarily a quick question.
No.
It'll be
a look back
on the 2021 Q draft. Redrafted.
News and notes from around the Q.
All right, here's notes from around the Q presented by Integrity Lawn Care. Check them out on Instagram or give them a call, 506-866-8218, or email them at integritylawncare@hotmail.com. The QMJHL has announced its 2025 Hall of Fame class. Matthew Bolduc, Claude Julien, Patrick Lebeau, Raymond Bolduc, and of course, Moncton's Corey Crawford. Very well deserved for Corey Crawford.
Oh, Jesus.
Thank God they got his banner up before he was a Hall of Famer. Now, maybe that was in tandem. They were waiting for a retirement of some sort, but not that we need a whole other ceremony, but I hope after this, which I believe is in October, bring the banner down and put a Hall of Fame patch or a Hall of Fame something on his banner and then put it back up.
Yeah.
Is what I think. I think they should maybe do it. Again, we don't need a whole other ceremony for the Hall of Fame class for him, but I mean, you remember seeing him.
Oh, he was so good.
Yeah.
I do want to give a shout out to the Q for the surprise videos, the announcements. The Corey Crawford one was really good. The Matthew Benoit, who also played here in Moncton, was good as well. I mean, just the surprise. If anything, it's a surprise is always really good. Corey Crawford was clearly very emotional, with good reason. He's right up there. I mean, I don't think there's been a better goalie in Moncton. You can make the Nicola Riopel argument, but for Corey Crawford to go on to the NHL, have the career he did, win the Stanley Cups, he's arguably the best goalie to ever wear the Wildcats jersey, and it's so well deserved for him to be in the Q Hall of Fame.
One of my favorite part about coming on here for summer holidays was going through the Coliseum and looking at those banners or those like light up pictures or whatever, and going, "Oh, he played here. Oh, Corey Crawford played here. Oh, he played here." Like I think I knew about Marchand. I think I knew about David Savard for whatever reason, but I had no idea Corey Crawford players. Oh, look at that!
Yeah, those banners. There's more of a rich history. Yeah, with this organization that people think. It's everyone. I mean, you could go. I don't know where those pictures went at the Coliseum anymore, but some of those names you won't necessarily recognize anymore. But yeah, like they played here. Like Johnny Oduya, played here in Moncton, right? It was not a lot of people remember that. That's Martin Carson's. It's just names that you didn't realize might have played in Moncton, but they did, and that's where they kind of got their start.
Yes, some of the other cities get the bigger fanfare for the names, but Moncton has a very rich history of, now that I know who plays here, of teams that, or people that played here. And you know what? The best part of playing hockey into the spring when the NHL playoffs are done, you can get Connor Garland to come bang the drum. You can get Peltier to come bang the drum. You could fire up the Irving jet to go pick up Mr. Crawford.
Oof.
I think that would be a pretty cool round 3, game 1, banging on the drum. Nothing against Mike Smith, I think it was, but I mean, those are pretty cool. Pretty good names there. Jonathan Houdon from Chicoutimi is reporting the QMJHL again is changing their playoff format next year. It'll be a 1 versus 8 in the East and West for round 1. And then round 2, it'll just reseed. So 1 through 16. Like they'll just reseed it all. What's the point? Or it's either the reseed to 116 or the reseed based on standings. So the division won't matter as much.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like Shawinigan, round 2, Shawinigan should have been the number 2 seed, but because they didn't win their division, Rouyn had less points than them. So I think that's what they're doing in terms of reseeding. So if you're not making division championships matter, then why not just go 1 through 16?
Yeah.
It's a lot less confusing because, good Lord, everybody on the Facebook groups, which is their only frame of reference, really, had no idea who we were playing based on the standings because, well, Rouyn won the division, but Shawinigan had more points. So this,
I mean, it's
go 1 through 16 and get rid of it all.
Respectfully, Martin Kingston had no idea Friday night after the win. So that did it.
Yeah.
Right? Love the guy, but have a little knowledge of who's left and who your opponent will be after a series clinching win.
Yeah.
Not very difficult.
No, you just look at the overall standings.
Yeah, I think the ones who follow the league knew that Rouyn-Noranda was lined up as our opponent, assuming they got past Halifax, which they did. I think it would have been.
Which, talk about a route, though. They get Gatineau and then they get Halifax.
Yeah. So we'll get into that. But, I mean, your play-by-play announcer should know as soon as the series is clinched who your opponent is. And that it was just.
For the most part, especially if they're done. Like,
yeah. And it was just one of those things where you're listening to them, and you just want to go like this and just shake your head. It's just, that's something that you should know. And yeah, anyway, so I'm not going to comment further.
Yeah, I mean, that's something where if he had 2 guys that have been following this team for 8 years on a broadcast instead of a Bathurst guy, could have helped him out with that, right?
Or, hey, yeah. I mean, there's
just like,
you could have called us.
Yeah.
But instead you went with Peter Asaf. You went with
nothing with Peters.
You went with Stefan Paquette.
Yeah. Well, Paquette follows the team, but
yeah.
Just, I mean, we can help out sometimes. Just saying. I think this is what they're trying to do is what the WHL did, and this is following them this year. Medicine Hat got through, and Calgary, Lethbridge got through, and Prince Albert, who was a 2 seed, and Edmonton, who was a 7 seed, were still playing, and Lethbridge and Calgary were going to go on. And I'm like, how did they already know their matchups when they're the 3-4 team? Shouldn't it wait on who? And they said no. Once the second round gets in, the division championship goes out the window and they reseed on points. So I think that's what they're doing. But it's at the point where, especially with the crossover, you're just confusing half the fan base. Like, just go back to 116 and hey, at Moncton at 1, we play the lowest seed remaining in the playoffs. That's very
easy enough.
Yeah. Enough of the back and forth. Yeah. I guess speaking of the playoffs, the other semifinal, the other part of the Final Four, Shawinigan Rimouski. Shawinigan holds a 3-1 season series lead on them. Aside from Moncton, I think they are the hottest team in the queue. I think there's something like 15-2, something like that coming into this playoff round. And Rimouski, thank God they're hosting because they are beat up. I don't even know if Cat4 played in Game 5 or Game 6, 5 and 6 actually.
They were, that series, they were without Spencer Gill, Jack Martin, Eric Spateko, Matthew Cataford.
Yeah.
William LaSalle was still backing up. They're beat.
Yeah.
And they need a break. They still have a series, and a lot of people are picking Shawinigan just based on how beat up the Oceanic really are. And I think we might. Are we doing predictions? Or are we more or
We
less
can do it
just-
now, or we can wait till after we talk about our series and do them
Yeah.
all at once. It's up to you.
I think as a Wildcats fan,
Yeah.
you got your Rimouski pom poms out.
Yeah.
And I think anybody, again, with a brain that listens to our show knows why.
Yeah.
At the same time, they're damaged. Like they've got some serious Band-Aids right now. And I really do think Shawinigan can give them a run for their money.
Mhm.
Now, I think it's going to be a long series. I do think Rimouski pulls it out. But I think they're going to need 7 games for this one.
Mhm.
So I'll say Oceanic in 7. Just based on, even with the guys that are out of the lineup, they're still good.
Yeah.
They're still very good. Willie Masala, I think, is probably going to get into this series. Shawinigan's deep.
Yeah.
They're dangerous. They've got a very good top line, top 6. But I just think Rimouski has more depth in their lineup than Shawinigan. I think that's what's going to win the series for them.
That's what I wish I knew, is if LaSalle was playing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just was looking while you were talking, and Shawinigan is 18-0-2
That's crazy.
in their last 20. Like they're kind of almost on the same level as us. They're not getting the fanfare here, obviously, or in the queue, but I mean they're 18-0-2, and that's as far back as I go. So I'm not going to look through their stats, but yeah, they're deep. I think I want Rimouski for obvious reasons, but I think it's Shawinigan in 6. I think they have the team, they have the horses. Like Rimouski got a good draw with Charlottetown. They got pushed a little bit by Chicoutimi. I don't know if Catford is out long term. I don't even know if Jack Martin. If they're coming into the series without Catford, without Martin, and without LaSalle, but I think he will play. I still think Shawinigan is they're just on a heater, and it was a lot like Bathurst last year when I picked them in round 1. Like they peaked at the right time, and they're continuing that momentum. And this is going to be a good series in terms of the buildings. Both these buildings are going to be rocking. But yeah, I'm going to take Shawinigan in 6.
All right.
You got Rimouski in 7.
Yeah.
Sean 6, which my heart still hopes Rimouski gets there. But we gotta take care of our business as well. And the last part of the news, by the time you hear this, by the time you know, the draft lottery's tonight, 7:30.
It is.
Victoriaville 43%, St. John 28%, Halifax 14%, Newfoundland 10%, and Quebec has a 5% chance. Do you feel like the team that wins this takes a different player than the consensus? Like if it's Newfoundland, you get this guy. If it's Halifax, or this guy. If it's Victoriaville. Now, hopefully, St. John doesn't suffer the same fate as CM Punk and not come away with a win in this fatal 5-way.
I feel bad for Victoriaville.
Yeah.
Because they had a terrible season.
Yeah.
They have the best odds to win the lottery, and they're trading the pick.
Yeah.
To Rimouski. So a team that went all in to host the Memorial Cup has a chance to pick guaranteed top 3 in the Q draft, which is mine.
But what are they getting back for that, though? Hopefully something good.
I think it's completion of a trade, so I don't know if it's. I think it's the
Olivier Waugh trade?
No, it's the Frederick Brunet trade from last year. So I think Victo is trading 2. Rimouski's trading 2 first-round picks.
To St. John?
No, Rimouski's trading 2 first-round picks to Victoriaville in exchange for the first overall pick. It's more like a compensation thing.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I think Victoriaville is going to have 2 firsts and later in the draft. because Rimouski's obviously going to get picks back and stuff for some of these trades that they've made. And then they'll flip those two to Victoriaville, and then they'll get the first overall pick, which is absolutely insane. Wow. You go all in, and you're probably going to – everybody thought they were going to be absolutely depleted next year, but you have, the potential to get a 6'4", 200-pound, 16-year-old potentially franchise player. By the sounds of it, he's only going to play there for 2 years. Based on how good he is, 2 or 3 years. So they could turn it around, but it's I think I'll have my somewhat first round list done after the Q Cup this weekend. Yeah. So
we'll drop that maybe between the rounds.
Yeah, we can do that. We won't put too much of an emphasis on it, but
yeah, let's drop that.
We'll cover our team first before we get into draft talk.
So this is probably this won't be live, obviously. We won't see the balls coming out and who gets picked.
It's on RDS, I think.
But they're just doing the placards. We don't actually.
Oh yeah. But they'll probably do like a behind the scenes video.
Who do you think will win, and who would the Q want to win? They wanted to give a first round.
You're getting conspiracy theories.
No. I mean that in terms of like, would they prefer Newfoundland to give that team a first round pick or first overall pick? St. John's always in there, so who do you think will win?
I honestly, because there's Victoriaville, Rimouski, there's St. John, Quebec, Halifax, and Newfoundland. Obviously, from the expansion / relocation standpoint, Newfoundland would be nice. Yeah,
that's who I want to win. That's who I think will win. I want Newfoundland to have the first overall pick.
At the same time, I'm just like, man, there's like a Newfoundland kid who's probably 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Which would be amazing to have a Newfoundland kid in his own backyard. I think a Newfoundland kid on the Newfoundland regiment would put more butts in the seats than a first overall pick.
Yeah, sure.
So it's to be determined. I'm not following it as closely as I have previous lotteries.
There's no Valdor report.
there's no Valdor report this year.
Yeah.
And I just hope all teams have fun.
Let's be honest, St. John always comes away with these things.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk enough about other things. Let's talk about our
Weekly Rewind.
We are heading to the semifinals. We dispatched the Baie Comeau Drakkar in 5 games. We get set to host the Huskies in the semifinal. Again, God, I hate this. I don't hate that we're there. I hate that the OHL and WHL gets to have Eastern and Western Conference final, and we get the Final Four, the semifinal. I just saw London, who's on their way to their conference final. They get a nice ice painting of the Robert Orr Trophy final, right? So it's like, I wish we could do that. But again, this will give us the best 2 teams in the final, so I understand it. And from a Moncton standpoint, with the team in the other Final Four, you're okay with that, right? If you know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. So let's go all the way back Tuesday. First loss of the run. I don't know if it was because Marty kept talking about them winning 21 in a row and how they hadn't lost in 21 games. And this team has not lost in 21 games. But I feel like they were a little bit caught off guard by a Baie Comeau playoff crowd with horns upon horns upon horns. Maybe a little bit of smaller ice. Moncton played well, but when Beckman needed to be good, he was good. He had that really bad game 1, and he rebounded in every single game in the series. And Tuesday, I think it was a combination of Beckman was good at home, and the crowd and the smaller ice kind of maybe caught them off guard a little bit.
Yeah, and I think there was a few obvious. They seem to know where to go in terms of shooting on Rousseau. Mm-hmm. So anybody that's watching probably knows exactly what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And they're just a team that plays so hard and they never give up. And you almost feel like this series, it should have been a sweep, but you knew they had to lose eventually.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like after the game too, Drew Bear messages me. He's like, Moncton's going to go 16-0, aren't they? I'm like, there's no way they go 16-0.
No.
But I like that they got the loss out of the way. You know, we said in the Quebec series, better early than later. So they got that behind them. And I was almost happy that they lost. It's crazy to say that, but just knowing that they were on a run, I had to know or to see how they would respond after a loss.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the adversity of finally losing a game in 2021 in a row.
Yeah.
It had to happen, and we just so happened to be Tuesday night, so I was glad. I didn't want this series to be a sweep because you didn't want to go into the Final Four having not lost
since February,
and then not knowing
8th.
Yeah, it's just glad it got it out of the way. The nice part is, if you win another 20 in a row, there's a parade down on Main Street.
Yeah, through the construction,
right? So
through the construction.
That's the benefit of it. If they go on another run and win, 10, 15 in a row, we're having a party downtown. So that's kind of the nice thing about, if you want to look at it that way. Do I think it's going to happen? No. They're going to lose another few games here along the way. That's fine.
Yeah.
The recovery the next night was good. Couple of hiccups.
Yeah, I like that they pushed back though. Like they got down 2 and they pushed back in the third period, and then you kind of thought. I feel like they took a bad penalty. They kind of took away their momentum, but I don't think so. It felt like they did, but they were able to climb back. So it was good to see them be able to push back in the third period to get the game tied, and then just wasn't to be. And if you're going to lose a game, I was glad they lost game 3 as opposed to game 4 and then game 5 kind of thing. And, then game 4, Wednesday night, it was the Beckman show. He got invited to the U18 tournament. I don't know how much he'll play with it being Wildcats kind of turned into the Canadian goalie, it seems, but if they get a shot, he's a very good goaltender. A double overtime win for the Wildcats, 60 shots for this team. I mean, Drew Bear was saying before the series started, Beckman is good. He can steal games, and we knew that coming into the series. But we are very lucky that the series was not tied going into Friday, because they absolutely, for any of our Drakkar fans, 100% Moncton got away from a 5-minute major for a hit from behind.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We are very lucky that series, that we got that victory. I don't know what the official was looking at, because he looked to me like he was looking dead at it. But we got away with a call in that overtime.
And it goes both ways. It happened in game 5 as well, where there was a hit, a Baie Comeau hit that should have been at least a penalty, but it wasn't. So I think that was kind of the even up from the night from game 4. This team seems to, if it gets to overtime, they're like juggernauts. Yeah. It's constant, do whatever you can.
Finish this now.
And we made the comment, it was the same series a couple of years ago against Baie Comeau, where if you score 4 goals on Charlo, you're winning the game. Anything less than 4, you're losing the game. That's exactly what this series was too. Yeah. It was 7-0 in the first game, 4-something in the second game. I forget what it was.
4-1.
4-1. There's your 4 goals. Game 3.
They scored 2.
2. Lost. Yeah. It's
game 5, 4.
Game 5, 4.
Game 6, 5. Or game 4, 4. Game 5, 5.
Yeah. It was you score 4 goals. And the Quebec series,
Moncton's MO is if they get to 4, they're winning the game.
4 goals, you're going to win the game.
Yeah.
And with this lineup, I think it's kind of the thing where you've also got the defensive team to not give up 4 goals a game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say, if we want to roll it into this game 5, where we had a nice lead after 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And, I'm starting to get messages, when's the next series going to start? Please don't ask me that right now. There's still 20 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
This team has broken my heart.
Yeah.
So many times in 25 years that I'm not celebrating until the whistle goes.
Until there's zeros on the clock.
Yeah.
More score. Yeah. My brother-in-law was the same thing watching it. They don't watch WHL in Alberta, so they don't understand this kind of hockey thing. And he's watching it going, how did they lose a game to this team? And I'm like, they're a good team.
Yeah.
Like, they're a good team. It's 4-0. It's junior hockey. Anything can happen. And bang, 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 bang. I was just glad we didn't see any overturned goals in the overtime. Like my heart was like, when Drakkar scored on the entry with Fenway, I was just like, oh, please God. No, officials good. No, I know, but
it's on side by 3 feet.
I know, but you watch the 5 overtime and you have PTSD with Baie Comeau. I'm just like, did I miss something knowing it looked onside? But yeah, I was glad we didn't see it. I think we very much got lucky in game 4 to come out with a victory in that. And again, 55 saves for Beckman is unreal. And then game 5, a dominant 40 minutes. You talked about the hit. I mean, they scored once, and then they had a hit on Collard that should have at least been interference. It wasn't. Michaud gets one, and it just
the wheels fell off.
The wheels fell off. I love that Gardner called his timeout to settle him down with 2 goals in 2 minutes. Like it's 4-2, but just settle down. We're in control of this. Didn't quite work. They still scored 2 more, but just a nothing goal. A nothing goal. For the series clincher, like Collard just goes down the wing, gets it right out, and a tip pat, like the way that Beckman had been playing all series.
Yeah.
For that to be the series clincher, it wasn't a great shot that beat him. It wasn't a tic-tac-toe. It was just get it to the net, Lounsbury center drive, a tip, and away they went.
And you couldn't have picked a better time to get that goal either. Like the crowd was unbelievable. It was so freaking loud in that rink. We weren't there. People were.
Yeah.
But you can hear it through the TV. And, they stormed back for 4 straight after I think the crowd probably gave up on them. And here you are, and you're just like, oh, God, they're going to blow this.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the most. Have they ever given up 4 goals in a period this season at all? I don't think so. Like it could have been the most epic collapse of the entire season. And little do you know, you go out there next shift, put your third line out on the ice.
19 seconds. 19
seconds later, and just kill the vibe. And death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It's you want to get your crowd into it? Watch out. Here comes Preston Lounsbury.
And what was weird is like, you think, if I think back to that game, I don't think there's 7 minutes left in the third period when Preston Lounsbury scores.
No.
Like I'm actually shocked. I'm looking at that through the stats and I'm like, oh, there's still 7 minutes.
But it felt like a freaking hour.
But it felt like when Lounsbury scored, the air got sucked out of the building. Like they were just like, we exuded so much to tie the hockey game. We have nothing left to continue to tie it. And I give Baie Comeau a ton of credit for the simple fact that, and I don't think they would do this, and I don't think a lot of teams in junior hockey would do this, but I just give them a ton of credit for, guys, we got 20 minutes left in our season. Let's put some pucks on net and see what happens, instead of, we got 20 minutes left in our season. Let's throw a knee here. Let's cross check at the whistle. Like let's take our pound of flesh, like a team that isn't in the league anymore, and make them hurt going into, like, they didn't give up and they pushed Moncton. And we have had, like, we look at the series coming up, the Huskies have had Gatineau and Halifax.
Mm-hmm.
we've had Quebec in 4 that pushed us in every game. Baie Comeau in 5 that even in the 5th game up 4-0 pushed us to the edge and made us work for it.
Yep.
It has been to go 8-1 has been a very benefactor where both series could have gone to 6 games.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's kind of going to be an advantage going into this next series against Rouyn.
Yeah, which we can talk about right now.
Yeah, let's roll into it.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Rouyn hasn't been challenged yet.
No.
They've had the easiest ride to the Final Four of any of the 4 teams, of the other 3.
That's not their fault.
Yeah, it's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Yes.
Is that? I know Moncton knows that, and Rouyn knows that. Moncton right now is battle ready. They have been, like you said, tested in every series, in every game, except for 1.
Yeah.
Except for 2. They were called 2. So I think Moncton's more prepared for this series from a playoff standpoint than maybe Rouyn is.
Yeah.
We're not going to look past Rouyn because they're the only team to have beat us twice.
Yeah.
In the season. Right? Yep. So there's you have to take that in consideration. Now, both wins were 1 before the Christmas trade period, and 2 immediately after the trade period.
Yeah. So it was.
I think that was
December's
first game.
Yeah, December 7th, which was before the trade period, and that was the one where Loshny scored and they got, what was it, power play, like too many men on the ice.
Oh yeah.
Just everything went wrong. Burrow got a goal and just everything went wrong for Moncton. And then the other one was, I believe, the first.
It was
January 11th. So
Yeah.
Russel's first game, Gill's first game, like everybody's first game in finding something. So.
Yeah. And that game, I remember that game because they lost it in like the final seconds.
Yeah, Steiner scored at 18:37.
Yeah. So, and I think Moncton battled back to tie the game late, and then Steiner won it late. So, I think it's going to be
that one was back and forth. 1-0, 2-1 us, 3-2 them, 3-3, 5-3, and we battled back 13 minutes, scored with 3 minutes left, and then a minute later, Steiner scored.
Yeah. So it's a different team. They've had a time to gel together and work together. Rouyn is what's called top heavy. They have probably they're right up there with Moncton when it comes to a top 6. I think I can make that argument. They have. Now I'm looking back at the series against Halifax. Melange, a little shaky, based on from what I'm seeing and what I've been told. Now Rouyn also like to take chances, which can lead to odd man rushes. Moncton has the guys who can capitalize on odd man rushes, except when it's a 3-on-1. So they're not to do with the puck. So I think you can make the argument that Moncton is more playoff ready. They're more. They have more game breakers. They also have probably you could say they have better goaltending. Nothing against Melange, but for him to be shaky against Halifax kind of says a lot. Will we see? Question for you, Adam. Will we see our first series win on home ice, given the layout of the schedule?
No,
I'm with you.
no.
I think we're going to see. Yes, Moncton's going to win this series. I will make that prediction.
Yep.
It
is a 2-2-1.
Yes, we're finally back to common sense. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Oh, you said it to me. Could you imagine Game 5
at the Avenir Center on a Good Friday on holiday
against Baie Comeau? Like,
how absolutely unbelievable that atmosphere would have been.
Yeah. Like if we're flying to things, let's just go 2-2-1-1-1.
Yeah.
Just enough of the 2-3-2. It is the worst. It's great for the road team. It is the worst for the home team.
Yeah.
It's the worst for the fan base. we're in a playoff run. We've had 4 home games.
Mhm.
I mean, bonus, we're good, but 4 home games.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
But the fans have been coming out. I think we're probably looking at another road win, series clinching win.
God, when was the last? Oh, I guess Game 7 against Baie Comeau was the last one.
Yeah.
Since when was the last one?
Yeah. So I will say Moncton in 6.
Yeah, I mean, if I answer that question and you know how the series goes, you know it's Moncton in 6. You look at their lineup. I mean, their top line is Verreau, Zonin, and Steiner. So you got to believe that's Gill and Johansson, and then you got Morana McKinnon probably lining up against Bocherman, Vernon, and Jelena, who's been an unreal find for them. And then I mean their top 4. I mean Carr and Lemire have been playing a lot. They got Dufresne and
their power play is lethal.
Yeah.
So stay out of the penalty box. They have probably the best power play in the league. So I would not be surprised if they have the best power play in the Peninsula right now.
I think they're second. I think Rimouski, based on that Charlottetown schedule.
Yeah.
But look, Moncton didn't give up a power play goal in that series against Baie Comeau. Now, Baie Comeau came into that series without Justin Poirier. He played 2 games and was not effective at all. They only had like a 6.3 now, but I think they were 7% power play record. So of the teams still left, yes, Rimouski is 36.4%. Rouyn-Noranda is 28.6%. Shawinigan 26.5%, and Moncton at 25.8%. So stay out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I feel confident about our penalty kill in that box. But I think while you say it's a top-heavy team, which it seems to be, they have the right bottom 6 pieces, a lot like Moncton, in the right spots.
Yeah.
And I think this is a team that maybe doesn't play like Quebec and Baie Comeau. Like you saw against Quebec, Moncton had a tough time because Quebec was playing with house money, but got in your face, muddied the water a little bit, tried to slow the game down. Baie Comeau tried to play that style a little bit in their home rink in the smaller ice, but they tried to run and gun too. And if you want to run and gun and play a take chances style, Moncton can do that and has the horses to do that. The key is going to be getting out to a 2-0 series lead, because if you go back on that small ice, that is a factor. I think now Marty said, I can't remember what game it was, he's pretty sure that ice is standard NHL size, just the building is smaller, but there's no way that's the same ice surface as the Avenir Center. I know Rouyn-Noranda is not the same ice. That is a small ice. That is their small cheat code. So home ice advantage is going to be big. The first team to score is going to be big in each game because no team has lost the lead when doing that. So, yeah, I think it's Moncton in 6. I think we have an answer to our goaltending question in this playoffs. I truly do. I mean, he was given a series clinching game,
but just don't let him get cold feet, because we saw what happened in the final 3rd period.
Yeah, that and I think that I was going to say, I think we have that answer, but I think based on maybe the 3rd period, maybe we don't quite have that answer. But I think it's Rudy's net. I truly, honestly think going back to back with the break, he'll start game 1, and you have the veteran in the back. And this is what I said to start the playoffs. I thought it'd be Rudy to start the playoffs, and you have the veteran if something goes wrong. I think that's where we're at.
Yeah. It was the first time that a goalie got back-to-back games, so that's kind of telling. So we'll see. I guess we'll see Thursday night. For all we know, they could.
Thank God we don't have to Thursday and then Monday schedule.
Yeah,
shout out to
Chicago Musical for giving us our ice back.
And right away too. And a lot of people were saying like, no, Moncton signed. They're the number 1 tenant. If they have it, they have to move. But
they had that saved in the drafts for sure.
Yeah. But shout out to them being ready for that.
Like you want to know just how quickly they had that email out.
Yeah.
Let's go Avenir Center.
While he finds that, just let you know, this is the 3rd time that these 2 teams have faced off. 2016, Rouyn-Noranda won 4-2 in the semifinal en route to their Memorial Cup trip to Red Deer. 2010, Moncton won 4-1 in round 2 on their Memorial Cup trip out to Brandon. And in 2005, the Huskies won 4-2 in round 2. So the Huskies have a 2-1 all-time series lead.
Good call.
Thanks.
I didn't thought of that. So the Avenir sent the email out at 11:24 on Friday evening, and the game ended at, I think they have an end time on the Q site.
I feel like it ended at like 12 after 11 because it was quick.
21:46, so that's 10:46 our time. So less than an hour, half an hour after the game ended, there was an email from the Avenir Center letting us know. So they clearly had that saved in the drafts, which was awesome.
I'm just glad because talk about momentum sucking if you have to play Thursday and then have to wait till Monday, especially for Rouyn, right?
Yeah.
We had the schedule figured, and I put it out there as like we're guessing what the schedule is. I didn't love our schedule if it was that kind of thing. So shout out to them for having it ready and allowing us to have the other thing was no bad ice.
Yeah.
Like if you're Thursday and then you've got a show Friday night, 2 shows Saturday, 2 shows Sunday, and then you got to put the ice back in for Monday. We saw that in game 2. There was some not great ice. So based off that, we are a month away from the Memorial Cup kicking off, which means you've got Moncton taking on Rimouski in the final, and I've got the reunion tour of Loshing
The Loshing reunion
versus Moncton. And this is a Gil and Rouyn too.
Yeah.
You know he wants to beat him, so but yeah, that's where we're at. I'm anything else you got on this series? I will say Friday night looks a little bit more packed than Thursday night, so guys, get your tickets to tomorrow night. I know Friday is Friday, but get your tickets for Thursday night.
I think there's looking back at the Baie Comeau series, there was a few things I saw that allowed the Drakkar to score. Again, not going to make it public. If the coaching staff doesn't realize what it is, you can message me because there was a few instances, especially that game 5, that I saw something that I didn't like, and in almost each instance, it led to a goal. So that needs to be cleaned up before Thursday night. And again, I'm an open book. I can share my viewings and what I saw.
I'm excited to find out what it is. See if it's the same thing I thought.
Yeah. So A, stay with the penalty box. B, don't do what I saw. And we should be able to win the series.
Ready for everyone's favorite part of the show?
That is it. That is true. I am ready.
Eric Murray, Realtor, buy a house from him. Stick Tap of the Week.
It is the time of the year when some people are getting their summer tires put on.
Yes.
I used to go to a car dealership because there was great service there, but some guy I know doesn't work there anymore. So I had to find an alternative location.
Yeah.
So I'd like to give my Stick Tap of the Week to Steve's Tire.
Nice.
Who I went to today to get my tires on. I was in and out of there in half an hour.
Nice.
And it was $20 a tire. I couldn't have been more happy with the price.
Are they still on? What? Are the tires still on?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, tires are still on. I was, like I said, in and out of there in half an hour, $20 a tire. I don't think there's a better price around town. Where the heck are they? Caledonian Road?
Yeah.
Caledonian Road, great spot. Don't have to get out of your car. I brought my laptop with me in the front seat, and I was working while I was getting my tires put on.
Oh, really?
Yep. Didn't even get out of the car. It was just, I obviously paid, but watching them put the tires on. I felt like a NASCAR.
So if you're going to Costco, once you go under the bridge, take your first right.
Yeah.
About halfway down on your left.
And then there's a left you have to take. So yeah, good people there. Steve's Tire. $20 tire. So I look at like $98 after tax to get 4 tires on.
Goddamn tax.
The Stick Tap of the Week, sponsored by Eric Murray Real Estate with the RE/MAX Avante team. If you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Greater Moncton or surrounding area, make sure to check him out on social media or give him a call at 506-863-8802.
And that brings us to the Wildcat of the Week, presented by Rosemary, Lynns Massage and Spa. Teeth whitening now available for booking starting at $85. That includes 3 15-minute sessions. Add another 15 minutes for only $20. Don't forget they have the loyalty card. Get 9 spa services. Get 1 free. Call them at 506-830-1224 or stop in at 1224 Mountain Road for now. They are moving as they are accepting new clients. So stay tuned for where they are moving to. Well, it's kind of a trend. You score the OT winner, you land on here in the playoffs. We've had 2 of the last 3 weeks. I know that Denway has been unreal, but it's when it's 3 of 4 weeks, and this is a double overtime winner.
You got your eye on number 88.
I got yes, that is correct. 3 goals and an assist on the week. Your Wildcat of the week is number 88, Uri Pekarczyk.
That was a good one.
Well done. Yeah, I didn't even know it's fun. Like, yeah, I got your eye on. What? No, my eye. What? Oh no. Yeah, that'll do it for this week. Games 1 and 2 tomorrow, Friday. So go to Ticketmaster, get your tickets. Wear black. The second round, there wasn't a lot of black in the building. I know that Rimouski, if my French is correct, they are doing the whiteout with white shirts for $10 to purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Towels, shirts, like people aren't going to wear it, so we gotta get it going. It was good in the first round, lacked in the second round. Let's get back to wearing black in round 3 because this is when was the last time they played in the semifinals? 2016,
Garland days against Rouyn.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
Yeah, and so go out, win these 2 games, and don't make Adam and I what you would call a Tyrannosaurus under stress. Don't make us nervous wrecks.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Wildcast podcast. Follow us on social media at Moncton Wildcast.